What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded here on YouTube, but then I've been working on something interesting, but we'll just make a whole separate video for that one. Today, I want to dive into a topic that is being misunderstood or exaggerated in the whole world of SMMA. And what I'm talking about is this whole game of being excessive in terms of outreach, right? There is this movement around SMMA gurus on YouTube, TikTok, Reels, Shorts, all these platforms, right? Of them encouraging people to be excessive in terms of outreach. They basically promote this whole movement of sending thousands and thousands of emails daily, DMs, cold calls, which is honestly quite unrealistic and sounds impossible to me. But then I've never tried it out. But the volume that they encourage you to send these things at just sounds ridiculous, right? I actually tweeted out expressing how I feel towards this whole situation and how I'm against it. But I just thought I'd make a whole video getting into much more detail. So I just take this moment to express why you should maybe pump the brakes in terms of this whole outreach approach and just go at it at a different kind of approach. But then without wasting any more time, we'll just dive straight into it with the first point. Okay, so the first point is probably the most important point of all, which is quality over quantity, right? Keep it in mind at all times. It is always quality over quantity. Because at the end of the day, you may seem proactive sending out 1,000 messages to 1,000 prospects, but then if your messages are not quality messages, then you're just wasting your time. You're lowering the likelihood of prospects even giving it a look, right? So keep it in mind and try to work on that at all times. The quality of your messages, your emails, DMs, or whatever, right? You may, like I said, you may seem proactive sending out all of these things, but then the kick of it is that a ton of messages just lower your response rate because they all look the same and they look spammy. No one likes responding to spam emails or whatever, right? So you look spammy, which is bad for your agency's reputation and just lowers your response rate. Rather, spend more time on improving the quality of your messages and also qualifying the people, the other prospects that you're going to be contacting, because you do not want to be contacting low quality leads and you do not want to be sending low quality messages as well. So rather work on that instead. That is the first point. Moving on to the second point, which is personalization. Sending out 1,000 emails or whatever just kills the personalization behind your messages or your emails, right? Personalized messages are basically your secret to outreach messages. Bulk messages will not, they just make the prospect feel like they're just another number in the system. They make them feel like just another name that you have on your list, because like it or not, it's going to be obvious if your messages are all the same, right? And you want to send out messages that spark interest or that make your prospects feel special, right? I mean, that's the best way to capture someone's interest, right? You do not go out there sending a DM to your crush or your whoever on Instagram and it sounds so generic or sounds like something that you say to every single girl that you see on Instagram and expect a response. Same thing with this. You do not want to be out just sending messages which are not personalized. You want to send something that's going to stand out and make them feel special. But then it's that simple. So we shall move on to the next point. Okay, so the third point we've already touched on, but then would like to clarify it, which is the risk of spamming, right? Sending out too many messages, DMs, emails giving out too many cold calls can get you reported and flagged as a spammer, right? Which means now you will be flagged as a spammer and no one's going to respond to your messages. It's that simple. There's not much to it, so we'll just move on to the fourth one. Okay, so the next point is burnout. Sending out high volumes and managing high volumes of outreach can easily lead to burnout. In fact, I'd like to say that it will lead to burnout because trust me, high quality work to 1,000 prospects every single day, getting responses, having to respond back to them, and having to set up meetings to all these prospects and doing that every single day will lead to burnout. I mean, I feel like it's really obvious to see this. But then if I were to give an analogy behind it, I would say it's like getting a high performing car, driving it at high speeds for long distances, and expecting to do the whole trip and back without taking a break to refuel. It doesn't make sense, right? And basically, that's the same analogy that um, these gurus are giving out to people. I mean, it doesn't seem realistic. It's I don't know. I've never tried it out, as I said at the beginning, but bro, come on, you know. But then that's it. I'd like to move on to the next point, which is the fifth point. Okay, so the fifth point is quite short because it's something that we've also touched on, which is your brand's reputation. I mean, trust me, people always remember those annoying spam calls, right? You know the spam calls, you know what number they begin with, you know the whole number, in fact, right? And it's the same thing. People will remember those annoying spammy messages that you sent to them. And you do not want to build this kind of reputation for your brand. So sending out all these high volumes of outreach messages is basically going to take the same effect on your business, and I don't think anyone wants that for themselves. So that's basically the point in just much detail. Would like to move on to the seventh. Is it seventh or sixth? Whichever one. But then the final point, which is ineffectiveness, right? All these, all that outreach might not be that effective, right? Because high volumes are going to lead to a lot of rejections. Um, that is the reality of it. They're going to lead to a lot of rejections and a lot of silence. Like I said before in a previous point, people are going to feel that you sent out the same thing to all those thousand prospects, right? So all that work and all that time that you spent sending out all these high volumes of messages could have been used on developing other parts of your company or your agency or whatever it is, right? But then you wasted all the time these sending out this outreach, which was useless. So it may be ineffective and a waste of time. I mean, imagine having to do that, what, 30 days a month? You know, honestly, I encourage doing only a week of outreach every single month. So I don't really understand when they say do that every single day. But then, yeah, that is it. But then, obviously, every single time we give out these bad sides of something, I have to give you guys solutions to them, right? So I am going to give you guys a couple of solutions, touch on them real quick, and hopefully you guys can apply them. Okay, so the solutions are basically alternatives, right? So basically do the opposite. Segment your audience, right? Focus on the people who actually want whatever it is you're offering, right? Focus on those who actually want what you're offering and those who need what you're offering. It's that simple. Second point, personalize as much as you can. Personalize your messages. Make your prospects feel special. Make them feel like they are the only people that you are talking to. Unfortunately, that is it, right? Do not sound desperate, but then make them feel like it is specifically or specially tailored to them, right? Third point, provide value first. Provide value first. If you're going to be pointing out something wrong or something that you could improve, show them, provide value to them, right? Offer them something valuable. Give them a free consultation, industry insights, a helpful resource. Give them something, provide value, then you shall get your value back, I guess. Test and refine. Be scientific about it. I don't know if you guys are into robotics content, but then if you are a listener of his podcast, you know how much he talks about being scientific around your whole work system, right? Be scientific about your whole system of outreach. Test it and refine it every single time you do outreach. See what works, see what doesn't, then monitor whichever works, the response rate, the conversion rate, and refine it to its best ability, I guess. Finally, comply with regulations. So obviously, each country or like each country has its own regulations when it comes to what cold calls more specifically. So just try to stay within the regulations, and you should be fine. Okay, sorry about that. A call came in while I was recording. But then, yeah, that's it in a nutshell. I mean, I guess outreach is vital or important in SMMA, but then it's all about balance, quality over quantity at all times. Be genuine with your relationships. Build proper, genuine relationships with prospects, right? Provide real value to them. Then you shouldn't have to be out just sending 1,000 emails, and should be on your way to bigger things. Always keep a picture of the bigger picture in your mind instead of looking at the numbers. Sometimes the numbers are not what you need. What you need is quality, right? Um, but yeah, that is it in a nutshell. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, consider subscribing. Hit the like button, the share, all those, the subscribe, and interact in the comment section. Would like to hear what you guys have to say. But then, yeah, man, that is it. Till next week, you guys just stay focused, stay working, stay determined. Till then, peace.